Aloha everyone, welcome back with Bryan. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel. Hello everyone, if you guys are new here, my name is Bryan. I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii, and this is going to be my channel focusing on K1 Visa and then also my K1 Visa journey as well too. Just to go forward, everything that I'm providing is all about entertainment and content only. I am not a visa advisor, I'm not a financial advisor, or I'm not an immigration service worker as well too. This is all just to give you guys folks updates when it comes to K1 visas, also to get my journey to you folks as all the updates and giving the time frames I'm processing when it comes to updates for doing a K1 visa. But I hope you guys are having a great working week. I hope you guys had a great weekend. It was a long weekend. I enjoyed it. It was too much fun and I couldn't believe I had to go to work and it's like back to reality. But in the meantime, I figure you folks been wanting this video, and this is a video that it took a while for me to upload and to edit to make sure everything that I can provide is all up to date from my end. So this is gonna be a video about filling out the I-134 form, which is the Declaration of Financial Support. So it's gonna be this forms, and it's gonna be pretty much a lot of paper forms. It's about 13 pages. So going forward, this is how I did it. Now you can do your own research, you can do the way you wanna do it, but this is how I filled out. As I am the petitioner, I am the sponsor, this is the person, or this is me showing how I filled it out, and I need to send this form to my fiance because she needs to have it ready when she comes to do her interview at their embassy. So as you guys do know, my fiance lives in Thailand in Bangkok, so we definitely got approved. We definitely got our case that was in transit. We definitely got our case now received at the Thailand embassy. We booked our interview date. And I'll definitely show another video when it comes to our timeline. So it gives you like a general idea of how long a process is of doing a K1 visa. But we are super ecstatic that we actually got our interview date. And now everything is all about prepping and sending all these evidence to your fiance. So I'm gonna go step by step of how I filled out from every page to the very end. Now, going forward, so if you go to page number 1, the very first thing it says basis for filling. Now it must have to be filled out or typed, but I prefer to fill it out. It has to be filled out with blank ink. So you definitely gotta make sure you're gonna be using a black ink to fill every information out. So number 1, part 1, it says, I am filling this form on behalf of either your beneficiary is going to be filling it out, which is going to be your fiance that lives abroad in their country, or an individual who is the beneficiary, which is going to be you. So that's going to be me as the petitioner and the sponsor. So if I'm filling this one out, I'm going to be checking off another individual who is the beneficiary. Next part, part 2, is this information about the beneficiary. This is information for your filling out information for your fiance that lives abroad. So my fiance, I'm gonna put her last name, I'm gonna put her given first name, also fill out if she has a middle name as well too. Number 2, it says if they have other names used. So if they have nicknames, please fill that out as well too, of their last name, first name, or middle name. Next is gonna be number 3, is gonna be date of birth. You're gonna make sure you put their current date of birth. So make sure you know your fiance's birth date. Your gender, male or female. Your alien registration number. So when you folks get approved on your K1 visa, on your notice of action, the 797 letter, that's your approval letter. When it has that information on the very top, there's supposed to be a alien register number, says A dash and blah, 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 blah. And that's gonna be your alien number to be provided into that section right here, number 5. So when you go take a look, that's gonna be the alien number. That's gonna be her registration number. Next, you're gonna be putting their city, town, state, province, country, citizenship of nationality. So whichever your fiance lives, of their citizenship and nationality, put that information in. They have to have a current passport, folks. This is most important. If your passport is expired, make sure you have something that's current, that is up to date. So if it's gonna be expired by next month, you guys gotta make sure it needs to get like in hand right away. So make sure you get a current passport. You put your passport of your beneficiary, the country that was issued of the passport, the expiration as well too, and number 9, it says marital status. Obviously you're gonna put single because you're not married, you're not divorced, or if you guys are, then you have to provide those specific check marks, and then you also have to specify, and you probably have to send more evidence going forward. Okay, so we're gonna keep this thing going because I don't want to make this as a long video. So if you guys are following through, good job. If I'm going too fast, I apologize. I just want to make sure this is more up to date for you guys. All right, so part 2, number 10, you're gonna be filling out your beneficiary, your fiance's home address. So you can put their name, the street, their name, number, the apartment, if they live in an apartment, if not, if they have a house, put their city. Since you are American, and if they live in a country, you don't have to put their state or zip code because they don't have that, because they usually have province or they have a postal code. So when you put for state or zip code, just put state N/A, like not available. Zip code, you just put NONE, none. Province, you could be putting their province of their city, their postal code, and then their country. All right, part 2 of 11. Are the beneficiary mailing address and physical address the same? Obviously, if it is the same, yes. If it's no, then you gotta fill number 12 section out as well and continue. Okay, number 13, it says beneficiary daytime, and then number 14, beneficiary mobile cell phone. What I did was I put her cell phone of the same thing for daytime and mobile. Beneficiary email, if your beneficiary has an email address, put that in as well too. Number 16, it says beneficiary anticipated length of stay, number 16. Now, from the time you folks got approved and by the time your folks' case is in the embassy of where your fiance lives, by the time she gets approved during her interview, you must give like an anticipation of when you folks are possibly going to get married or when she's going to be coming inside the United States. So obviously, let's just give an example. It's already January. If your interview date is probably in March, and let's just say you folks get approved in that interview date in March, you will say, okay, let's go for next month. She's gonna come in, and then hopefully you guys get married during that month. So put that anticipation on that month. So that'll probably be April. So I'm just giving you guys an example if that's how you wanna put your anticipation. If you guys already know when the time that you wanna have her to come to the United States, perfect, put that date, and that should be easy. So you put that date to, you definitely just put blank and then just put no end date as a check mark. So you can leave that select 1 on 2 and it has that specific month, day, and year. Just leave it blank and then just put no end date. Okay, going forward. Next, information about the beneficiary of the financial information. So this is mostly important. This is how I did it. Number 17, it says provide all information requested in the table below about the beneficiary. All the beneficiary dependents and any other individual the beneficiary financially supports. It says do not include any individual name in part 3. Information about the assets are not based on unemployment should be added in item number 22 and not in item number 17. So if your beneficiary has no kids or anything, then you can just put that. And then if you're gonna be having a beneficiary that has kids, then you have to make sure you have to add them as a dependent. So for my example, like for my beneficiary, for my fiance, she's single, she has no kids. I'm gonna put her name, her full name, that's including her middle name. So as much as you can write small and put it in, that's gonna be her full name, date of birth, is this relationship to the beneficiary. You're gonna write beneficiary. So you're not gonna write self, because if you write self, you're filling as her as a beneficiary, which you're not. So you're the petitioner, you're the sponsor, you're gonna put beneficiary. And you're gonna put income contribution to beneficiary annually, just put 0. If you put more assets in here, then they're gonna be suspicious, they're gonna find out more information, then don't have to deal with that hassle, just put 0. Total number dependent, which is 1, which is gonna be your fiance. Total income, 0. Okay. Number 18, does any beneficiary total income, excluding any individual named in Part 3, comes from illegal activity or source proceeding from illegal gambling or illegal drugs? Just put no. And then just pretty much if if you just read it, answer it, just put N/A. You can just put no on number 20, 21. You just answer the same thing. If it's not something that you need to provide, just put NA. So not available, N/A. Okay, moving forward. Okay, part 2, beneficiary assets. On the full name of the assets holder, just put none, because you don't need to provide that information. You want to make sure your beneficiary doesn't want to come with assets, because you're going to be the sponsor, you'll be the petitioner. So you're going to be filling or providing all these kind of stuff for your fiance. That's like food, shelter, clothing, whatever. So she's not gonna be having assets. So you just put full name of the assets holder. I just put none. Type of assets, I just put none. Amount of cash value, I just put 0. Total US dollars, $0. Now, here we go. Now this is gonna be part 3, information about the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary named in the part 2. So this is information about you as the petitioner, as the sponsor. You're gonna put your information in, your last name, your first name, your middle name. If you have a nickname, you provide that. If you don't, you just put N/A, N/A, N/A. You're gonna put your current mailing address, so put all your information of your mailing address, apartment, house, etc. Since it says province, postal code, you can just put NA, and then you can put postal code none. But everything else you should definitely fill out, from city, state, zip code, and country. Okay. All right, number 4, part 3. Is going to be number 4. Is your current mailing address the same as your current? If it is, put yes. If it's not, then you have to hit no. Then you fill out another physical address included. You're going to put in number 6 in that part. 3 is going to be your date of birth. Number 7 is going to be the place of birth, where you were born, the state, the country. If you have an alien registration number, that's not going to be provided, because if you are a United States citizen, all you need to make sure is you just put the alien registration number N/A, USCIS online account number. You don't have to put anything N/A. Number 10, what is your relationship to your beneficiary? You're going to put, obviously, fiance. Okay, number 11. It says immigration status. This is your immigration status. What is your current immigration status? Please provide documentation as instruction. So it has a whole list of U.S. citizenship, U.S. national, lawful permanent resident, non-immigrant, form I-94, and then other. But for me, I'm just filling it as a U.S. citizen because I was born in the United States. So I'll be checking off U.S. citizen. Okay. So number 12 on part 3, it says employment status. This is the most important thing. Hopefully you folks got a job, so you guys gotta make sure you're gonna provide all this information. So It says employment status. You are employed full-time, part-time, seasonal, self-employed. If you're unemployed, if you need to put that. If you're retired, you place that. Other, you have to explain it. Since for me, I'm full-time, I have a nice full-time job, so I'm gonna put 13A. I am currently employed as my job, my employer. If you are self-employed, then you hit self-employed and you put your information as self-employed as your job. Your current employer address, you put your current employer address with all the information, phone number, zip code, everything, you're gonna put that in there. Actually, it doesn't have a phone number, apologize. It's just the address information. Okay, guys, we're gonna keep it going. Financial information, number 15, it says provide all the information requested to the table about yourself, all your independents, or all your dependents and other individual you can financially support. Do not include any individual in part 2. So this is gonna be you as the petitioner and sponsor. You're gonna put your full name, your date of birth, and it says relationship to your individual agreeing to financially support. You're gonna put self because you are agreeing to financially support your beneficiary, your fiance in that sense. Okay. The next thing you're gonna be doing is you're gonna put the income contribution to the beneficiary annually. So it's pretty much how much do you folks make annually. So you're gonna put a rough estimation of your income. You're gonna put over there dependents. It's gonna be you as yourself as 1, and then total income. You're gonna put your total income. All right, it's the same thing from part 3. As you guys can explain it, just answer all that questions from number 16, 17, 18, 19. If your answer is no, you hit no. If it's gonna be, if you're 17, if your answer is no, then you put NA, and then same thing with number 19, NA as well too. Okay, number 20, this is you as a petitioner, you're sponsoring your fiance. You're gonna fill out the table regarding your assets available to you as of right now, your current. So you're gonna put your full name with your first name, middle name, and last name. It's gonna say type of assets, and it says amount, cash value. So each line you're gonna identify and you're gonna write down your investments. That's including checking account, saving account, stocks, bonds, certificate of deposits. Do you have a 401k? Are you on a pension? Do you have a traditional IRA or a Roth IRA? Are you folks into the stock market? Do you folks have personal property as well too? So I listed down every available evidence, and then you're gonna be providing that part of your evidence, which I'll explain later. So you're gonna make sure you're gonna have a whole net value of everything that you put into that portion. You can total everything up, and that's gonna be your total amount that says total US dollars at the very end. Okay? So the next thing you're gonna write down, or number 21 says financially responsible for other beneficiaries. Have you previously submitted the form I-134 on behalf of the person other than a beneficiary named in part 2? For me, I just put no. And then from this point on, I just put number 22, 23, NA, none, NA/none on like family name, given name, middle name, alien number, I have none, so none, and data submit, none. Next, it says part 3, information about the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary name in part 2. So intend to provide specific contribution to the beneficiary. So number 24, it says I intend, which is you intend. Do not put do not intend, because that means you're not going to contribute to your fiance, which you don't want to put down because they're going to deny it. So you want to make sure it's I intend. And then it says explain your contribution regarding about your fiance. So you can provide like I intend to provide your fiance's name, room, shelter, board, food, like provide accommodations. You will be giving your fiance this amount of money for spending. This is what she's gonna be doing when she lives here into your city in the mainland. So for me, I explained everything of how I tend to provide my fiance when she's gonna be living in Hawaii. Okay, then part 4, You don't have to worry about that. It's gonna be pretty much, where is it? It's like a beneficiary statement, so you don't really need anything from like signature from the beneficiary. So you just have to put number 1B. It says the interpreter name in part 6 read my and every questions and instruction declaration and answer my questions. Since you don't have an interpreter or anything like that, just put NA, and then number 2 says part 7 NA. You just write that down. Okay, so next page, page 9, it says statement of contact information, certification and signature of the beneficiary. Only complete this section if part 1 basis of the filling section is myself as the beneficiary. Remember, I told you guys, if you as the petitioner, you're the sponsor, are going to be filling this form out, you don't need to have this beneficiary signature. So you just hit N/A and data signature N/A. Now, if your beneficiary wants to fill this out, which is going to be your fiance, wants to fill this out, then it's a whole different thing. Then she has to make sure she has to go back from the beginning, and then she's going to be putting the very top portion on page 1, myself as the beneficiary. And then she has to pretty much sign this one with the signature date as well too. And then this will check off of everything off from the beneficiary side. Okay, so part 5, statement, contact, certification, signature of the individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. So you're gonna put 1 on part 5. It's gonna say, I as an individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary, certify the followings, and it goes, I can read and understand English. I read and understand every question, instruction of the declaration and myself to answer that question. So you just check off that. You don't have to worry about number B or letter B. It's always gonna be A. You can leave number 2 blank. It says contact information of individual agreeing to financially support the beneficiary. You're gonna put down your cell phone number, your daytime number for them to contact, and an email address. On part 5, on number 3, 4, and 5. So make sure you put that information down as for yourself. From there, part 5, you are gonna be number 6. You're gonna sign it and you're gonna date it. And then from there, part 6, if you guys have an interpreter, if you guys need to provide it, put that information. If you don't have an interpreter that needs to interpret anything, if you folks don't have any, or if you guys have any hard time in English, then that's the interpreter to help you folks out. And you have their information as well. If you guys don't have to worry, you just put NA. And then you just continue NA all the way. Prepare a signature. That's only if the interpreter needs to sign it. But if you don't have one, just put NA. Now, the additional information. Whatever that you couldn't fit on the sheet of like your beneficiary's address or any information that you need to provide. Same thing when you do a K1 visa. Remember, you guys were filling the I-129F. If there's any additional information that you need to provide, this is the time for you to fill it out. So for me, my fiance has a long address in Thailand, in Bangkok. So I had to provide that in that section in page 2, part 2, item number 10. For the next part is going to be page 8, part 3, item 24. This is where I filled out as much information in as, remember that section, folks, is I intend. That's the one you want to intend to provide, like board, water, room, shelter. This is where you want to write as much as possible. So, which I can explain what I wrote. So I intend to provide my fiance's name, room and board, and anything else required by my fiance. First as a fiance, and then as a spouse after their arrival in the United States. I will provide food, money in their checking account every 2 weeks for grocery, shopping, spending for my fiance and her name. That's all. It's just for them to understand like what you're gonna be providing and intending when you do get married, and then your fiance has financially supported by you as well. So once you finish pretty much all of this, you, as the petitioner, make sure that you will send all This is a blank copy, guys. You're gonna send your whole filled declaration of financially support I-134 form to your fiance. And then from this point on, remember folks, the blue folder, if you guys watched my last video, this is gonna be the folder you wanna provide to your fiance. It has all the evidence that you need to provide to give to her as well too. So for me, remember I told you I was being a good fiance. I made as much stuff to help her. So this is all gonna be shipped out to her as well. So it has a table of contents of every information that I provide when it comes to like my passport, my birth certificate. I have an updated letter to intent to marry. So she's gonna fill a letter intent to marry and you're gonna fill out a letter intent. This is more like an update and gives you a better timeline, and you sign it and you date it and make sure that it gives you more like a way to know for the embassy to know when you're gonna get married as well too. And always put the embassy address on your letter so then they can read it as well too. And then you're gonna provide them, just in case, you know, if they need the notice of action of when you got your NOA letter, your first one, your notice of action when you got approved. You know, if you need to provide your welcome letter with their case record number, your welcome letter. And then this is where you can provide all of your folks' financial like evidence. That's including like pay stubs. They want current pay stubs for the last 4 to 6 months. So provide pay stubs at that. You don't have to provide every pay stub, but just give like a general from that time, 6 months before to now. And then you're gonna provide like anything when it comes to your assets. Remember I told you, I explained to you folks, when you folks fill out your assets, like IRA, Roth, pension, salary, checking account, stocks, crypto, whatever you want to provide, you can provide all the evidence as well too. So I have all my evidence, all my personal property. And then last but not least, these are going to be my taxes. So the taxes, I recommend you folks give at least 2 to 3 years of your taxes. So I'm providing 2019, 2020, and 2021 as well too. I can't provide 2022 because I haven't gotten it yet. It's gonna be probably in February or March when I get it. So it's gonna be kind of late. So I'm providing those as well too. So you definitely need to make sure you have the transcripts of each year, the 1040, and then the W-2, guys. Those are the 3 things that you need to provide of each year. So I got 2019, I got 2020, and I got 2021. So once I get everything, I'm gonna give all this to my fiance. That's also including like the yellow folder, the red folder. I'm gonna mail all that. I think I'm gonna mail it out this week because she kind of needs it so I can make sure she can have it. So I'm gonna give it to her. She's gonna have it already set for the interview. And then that's gonna be for her to wait to provide that to the interviewer, which is gonna be from the person that's gonna be doing at the embassy. But other than that, guys, sorry for making a long video, but this is what you guys wanted. I want to explain to you folks that this is how you fill out, well, this is how I filled out the I-134 Declaration of Financial Support form. Well, I hope this form that I explained to you was all up to date. I hope that you guys got as much information as possible. I hope that you guys will eventually do this, and hopefully this video will help you going forward. And then from there, your fiance will do the rest, and then wish you all the best for your fiance, because this is a time where you folks definitely need to practice of knowing your fiance when she goes for her questions. So get to know her as much as possible, because when an interview comes, she has to know every information about you. No pressure to her, but you know, at least get the basics, like, you know, like how you folks met, where did you guys meet, do you know your fiance's birthday, when's the last time your fiance's been to your country, what do you guys do when you guys are here? I mean, these are things that it should come out naturally from your fiance, not rehearsed in your head, but she should definitely know the basic, like your birth date, You know, does she know information about your family? You know, do you have siblings? Does she know your siblings? What kind of food you like to eat? You know, etc., etc. So these are all the kind of stuff that hopefully when an interview comes, she will know this by then as well too. But anyway, guys, my name is Brian. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was very informative. If you guys enjoyed it, please, as always, hit the like button as right down there. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys enjoy this, then please hit the subscribe button. It means so much, and aloha that you guys are subscribing. And thank you guys so much for always watching and tuning in for all my updates. I hope this video will help you folks out. And if it didn't, I am sorry. This is as much as I can give you folks, but this is how I did it. Always do your own research and go from there on looking at the K1 visa of the USCIS, or how K1 visa has been filled out when it comes to that form. It's the same thing how I did it. I looked at all the samples of how it was, and I pretty much learned from that point on as well too. But anyway, you guys have an amazing day. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope everyone does get this moment. I am wishing guys all the love, respect when you guys K1 visa. You guys got it. Stay humble, stay happy, and as always, aloha.